How's it going, guys? My name is EnergyPants, and today I'm here to bring you guys my top 5 anime that I regret watching. So, keep in mind this list is 100% my opinion. If you guys have anything in mind, by all means, leave your top 5 anime that you regret watching down in the description. I do it every time. Down in the comment section down below. And yeah, if you guys disagree with my list in any way whatsoever, you can always show your disagreement with my list by clicking that like button and leaving a supportive comment, because the way that you can show me that you hate my opinion, that you think I'm a casual, is by leaving a like and a supportive comment, because there's no way on earth that you can show better that you hate my opinion than doing so. So, let's get into the list. Coming in at number 5 is Ore no Nuna Sentakushi ga Gaku in love comedy. No, whatever, I give up. The English name is My Mental Choices Are Completely Interfering with My School Romantic Comedy. So I was looking on Crunchyroll for anime to watch because I was really bored, and the premise of this seemed interesting. It's about a guy who he's suffering from a curse called Absolute Choices. This curse requires him to select an action from a list of 2 or 3 options that appear before him at any time, and has no control over what choices appear. Many of them are weird or perverse, and as a result, the curse has tainted his reputation with classmates and other people around him, making his life very difficult. So it seems like a pretty interesting premise, right? I mean, you know, a guy is faced with 3 choices, he has no idea what they're going to be, but and it's also completely void of the ecchi tag, which would have been a complete turnoff for a series like this. But moving on through the series as it went on, it just seemed like the series was so close to an ecchi and a harem that I don't know how it's not. And because of that, I don't even know how I forced myself to watch all 10 episodes. I guess it's just my mental fortitude when it comes to this stuff is kind of higher, because for some odd reason I finished the show. Don't ask me why. Midway through, like I said, I just considered dropping it many times, and now I realize that I definitely should have. So, would I recommend this show to you? I would definitely say not. I regret watching this show to the fullest. I would rather have these 10 episodes to watch something like Anohana, or, you know. But yeah, this show, it really brings nothing to the table. There's nothing new here. Even though it doesn't have the harem tag or the ecchi tag, it does really nothing except for the mental choices to separate itself from being a standard ecchi harem, even though it's neither of those two on Mal, but it should be. And it's not good at all. And yeah, it brings nothing new to the table except for the mental choices thing, which doesn't even happen all that often. So let's move on to number 4. Coming in at number 4 is Rosario to Vampire. And I watched this show when I was relatively new to anime, and I can say with utmost certainty that I definitely regret it. Honestly, I regret everything that has to do with this show. This was 24 episodes of wasted time on my part. Just like all the shows in this list, I really just wish I could have that time back, because this show is just, it's something, alright, I'll tell you that much. I mean, it's ecchi beyond belief, and I don't know if at this point I was watching this, and I think this was the first ecchi show I ever watched, and I think because it was the first ecchi show I ever watched, I gave it a lot of benefit of the doubt, and at the time I was actually enjoying myself when I was watching the show, which, just like I regret watching it, I regret to say that. And I also regret making a review on this show and giving it a 7.5, which was on my old channel, and you guys will probably never see because I deleted that channel and the videos along with it. So, you know, I wish I still had it, because I would like to, I would have played a clip of it now, of me, like, saying how good the show was at the time. I gave it like a 7.5, and I definitely, oh my gosh, I regret it so much. Everything associated with this show that I ever did, I regret. But that's why it's here on this list. I mean, it's just ecchi, and I don't like ecchi. It's ecchi horror. Like, I don't know how I got through it at the time. I mean, like, it's just so cliche, and it's ecchi harem. I mean, there's no Yuri, so it's not like that's why I stayed. I don't know. Like, it's just bad, man. I don't know what to say. Coming in at number 3 is Kiss X Sis, and literally I have no words to say why on earth I watched this show. And I've watched this show, and I might as well watch the OVAs to go along with it soon, just to complete the trifecta. Just because I've stooped so low as to watch this show, I might as well see it all the way through. But yes, I do regret it. I don't know what was going through my mind when I just woke up one day and decided, hey, I want to watch Kiss X Sis, but obviously I regret it. I regret doing that. 12 episodes of my life were spent watching incest and fan service, and it's just like, what more do you want? How many of you guys have seen Kiss X Sis out there? And what do you say for the show? Like, this show has no redeeming factors except for the fact that you watch it because it's like the most ecchi of the ecchi show, especially the OVAs from what I've seen. I mean, you know, I might as well finish it out, so I might do that eventually. But this show it's not good, man, and I wish I hadn't watched it, but I did, and I'm owning up to it. I could have just not put this on my list at all, and nobody would have ever known that I've seen Kiss X Sis. Right? I could have never put it on this list at all, and nobody would have ever known, but I watched it, and I'm owning up to it, so I think that takes guts. Coming in at number 2 is my first ever anime I watched, and I started this because I watched this because I was at the time I was watching a whole bunch of Pokemon YouTubers, and they were all talking about how good Fairy Tail was, and boy, I realized they were wrong now. And that they're casuals. They're all filthy casuals. Every last one of those Poketubers is officially casuals. So I watched this show, and at the time of watching it, it was like the best show I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I honestly, at the time of watching it, I enjoyed every second of it. You know, I mean, and at the time I was also watching the dub, which, I mean, I've turned away from dubs now because they're awful. But I was upset because the dub ended. That's how you could tell I was a casual, because I did not want to watch the sub for the life of me. I was like really upset that the dub was over, that all the episodes they had dubbed were ended. And then I finished the whole show out, and I watched some of season 2, and God, I wish I could have that 100. Like, do you realize how many shows I could watch in 175 episodes? Like, that could be like, what, like 10, maybe 20 shows? No, not 20. 10, maybe like 15 shows out of all the time I spent watching Fairy Tail. I could have watched like 10 or 15 shows. Like, that's crazy. It's crazy to think that I could have seen shows like Anohana and all that time, like, you know, instead of watching this. And obviously, because I spent so much, this is why it's here number 2, because I spent so much time watching the show, and I want every second of it back, because this show is not that good. There's not really any moment in the show that I think, man, I'm really glad I watched the show for it. You know, it's like Monogatari has the last episode, like literally, and then like, you know, Sakura Trick has the Yuri. It's like you look back on the show and you want something gratifying to look back on that makes you glad you watched the show. But this show just doesn't have anything, and that's why I'm upset, because I spent so much time watching it, and there's just nothing gratifying in my memory that I could think of that would justify me watching 175 episodes plus of this show. So that's why it's here at number 2. And it's got to take a pretty bad show to beat this show out in terms of shows I regret watching. And I think in saying that it's got to be a pretty bad show, just spoiled it. And none of you would be surprised by this list. I'm not throwing any curveballs this list, but here we go with number 1. Coming in at number 1 is No Game No Life. I will leave my review to No Game No Life in the description down below, just so you guys can read it and see why I hate this show so much, rather than just reading out the whole thing to you guys. This show is just so bad. I mean, the words cannot explain how much I hate this show. I mean, the characters are terrible. The story goes nowhere with a cliffhanger ending. It's so bad. I've been told by someone, and I quote exactly, who likes this show. They have said on my review, I'm going to lie, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to say this right now. You are worthless. Please kill yourself. This anime is in so many ways. And that's all he said. Well, that's not all he said, but that's just the gist of it. And keep in mind that I said nothing to that person prior to this comment.
and just I've had countless arguments over the show. People telling me the show is good when it's really not. It's my least favorite show of all time, and if you guys read the review in the description, you will find out why. So I'm gonna quit talking about No Game No Life before I say something I regret, like I normally do. This show makes me go to extremes when it comes to arguing with people, when it comes to, you know, talking about it. But I'm gonna stop before I say anything I regret, like I normally do. I'm gonna, you know, finish my rant here. And like I said, if you guys want to see why I hate the show so much in my completely 100% biased review, click the My Anime List link in the description down below and read that. Give that a look and tell me what you guys think. And keep in mind, it is 100% biased. There is no unbiased review whatsoever. Somebody called me out on it, and I was like, yeah, I tried to argue against it, that it wasn't a rant, but then I realized it was a rant and 100% biased, and I was like, yeah, you're definitely right. This is totally biased. But yeah, so that's it. My top 5 anime I regret watching. Leave your top 5 anime you regret watching in the comments down below. And if you guys disagree with my opinion, and if you guys hate my opinion, or, you know, you guys disagree with me in any way, please show that you hate me and my opinions by leaving a like and a supportive comment, because there's no better way to hate my opinions than leaving a like and a supportive comment and sharing the video with your friends, because that really shows that you hate me and my opinions. So I'll see you guys next time.